Welcome to Lifestyle Indy. We're back again. I'm Paul Poteet.
I'm Julie Patterson, and we're glad you're here for this episode. It's going to be very exciting. We're going to start with food. In fact, we're going to go to the Sushi Boss.
Julie, that sounds fishy.
Well, it is. Wait till you see what they're serving up.
You're down there at my level now. We have an interesting story also about cocktails and chemo, and one of our very own covering a subject that she knows all about.
Yes, sadly, Amanda Clark, wait till you see this piece. I think you're going to learn a lot from it.
You're going to meet Indiana artisans too. You're going to meet them and also see them in the world of food as well as in the world of art.
You can be an artist with food, or you can be an artist with mixed media, as they call it. So you'll see a lot of different mixes from our Indiana artisans.
And our mixed media rolls on with...
How about some legal advice, folks?
Yeah, do I need some?
I don't know. Do you
have
need
you
a
heard
lawyer
something?
up?
Oh, what? Huh?
It's always possible, and we always have some great advice on this show. If you have some sort of legal question, hopefully we'll cover your topic tonight.
The price is right, too. It's free.
Oh, it is free.
Yeah.
So
This
whole
whole
show
is free.
Such a bargain.
Here we go. It all starts now. Another edition of Lifestyle Indy.
Lifestyle Indy is made possible with support from Westport Homes, dedicated to building homes for every chapter of life, with plans and details that match customer-specific needs and style. Additional funding is provided by Altman, Poindexter, and Wyatt attorneys, serving clients throughout Central Indiana with wills, trusts, and estates, with over 70 years of combined experience.
Does the name of a restaurant sometimes make you want to go right in?
Yeah, well, especially if it's a food I like, an intriguing word, perhaps.
What about Sushi Boss?
If I was a sushi fan, I would want to see the boss.
My family loves sushi, so we're going to this place. We got to check it out.
Yeah, Mrs. P loves sushi too. And apparently a lot of kids do, because the Sushi Boss works with a lot of school children.
What?
Yeah, I know.
I had no idea.
We just had heavenly hash when I was growing up. Let's meet the boss.
Tuna-roo when I was growing up.
We need to go to the boss's office.
All right, let's check it out. They have a unique way of serving their sushi.
Well, we are here today at one of Indianapolis's coolest new sushi restaurants here at Keystone at the Crossing, Sushi Boss, where you design and they roll. Joining us is Jason Hornberger. Thanks so much for joining us, Jason.
Thanks, Heather. Thanks,
what a
Heather.
great concept. It's such a great alternative to fast food.
I appreciate that. Yeah, we developed this concept to give different alternative options for healthy eating. So here at Sushi Boss, you get to customize and create your own sushi roll. Our goal here is to get a customer in and out as fast as possible so they can go on with their day. Our goal is to have like 3-minute lead times for you to get your sushi. So it's fresh, it's customizable, and that's kind of what we specialize in.
Yeah, and even high schoolers are catching on to this idea. This is something really unique that sets you apart.
Right, so we have 10 local high schools that we partner with, and typically each high school picks out a different day of the week, and we make it fresh in the morning and drive it right to the high school. So the students are eating sushi now for lunch.
I look forward to it every Friday. Fridays were already good before, but now I just know I get to look forward to getting sushi at school. And it's actually something I really look forward to at lunch, and it's my favorite lunch now.
What are some of the rolls we have here?
Yeah, so this is our newest featured roll that we came out with. It's called the Spicy Crab Rangoon Roll.
Looks amazing.
It's really delicious. It's got the crab, cream cheese,
Yep.
onions, and then on top we put the spicy mayo eel sauce and the fried onions.
Some nice side dishes to go
Yes,
along
this
with
one's
it.
our calamari salad. We brought a seaweed salad out just to show you some of the different healthier options.
Yeah, that looks great.
We also make our own soups in-house. We have a miso and a clear onion. We make our own salad dressings for our house salads.
I love your miso soup.
Oh, thank you. This one's called the OMG roll. It's a fried shrimp, cucumber, avocado, and then we top it with our crab stick. Again, our spicy mayo, eel sauce, and sesame seeds. This one right here is called the firecracker shrimp roll. It has spicy crab, spicy shrimp, cream cheese, avocado, and jalapeno. Then we put some yummy sauce, eel sauce, and tempura crunchies on top.
And what's nice too is if you have any kind of allergies, right, you can kind of cater to that.
Right, we have a allergy menu at the front of both of our restaurants, so if you have any questions or concerns, make sure to let us know, and we'll point you in the right direction so that everybody's safe.
And speaking of catering to people, you do cater parties also.
Yeah, we cater parties. We've done some off-site rolling classes, so we've had some corporate events where we've done some team building exercises where everybody learns how to make a sushi roll, and it's really been a great success for us.
And I noticed you do have a lot of deals going on. You know, I follow you on social media. I love that you are holding the DIY rolling classes. It's really nice to give people that hands-on learning experience.
Yeah, once a month we set up this table and we have different classes. So we usually set up around 3 to 5 classes every once a month, and people can sign up using our social media.
I'll actually show you guys first, and then I'll walk around and then help you guys. And gently squeeze. So key to squeezing, we don't want to push down, we just want to squeeze with the fingers.
Jason, what advice would you give people out there who are intimidated by sushi and say, you know what, it's kind of scary and I don't know if I want to commit to it?
So a lot of people, my biggest challenge is educating people that don't understand sushi or think sushi is only raw fish. So over half of our menu is fully cooked options. And for new people, we even have roasted chicken. So it's fully cooked chicken. It's served hot. We also have a short rib beef option that's really tender and juicy. So I think the biggest thing is once you come in and figure it out, like do it one time, you'll figure it out. Be comfortable and confident.
So I think this would make a really good date night, you know, with your friend or your spouse. Come on in, learn how to roll a sushi roll, have a beer, right? Enter one of the contests. You might even get a sushi roll named after you. So come check them out. 2 locations, one at Keystone at the Crossing. The second one is the IUPUI campus. And we can't wait. I hope to see more sushi bosses around Indiana.
Yeah, I hope so. Thank you very much, Heather.
Thank you. For Lifestyle Indy, I'm Heather McWilliams.
So what do you do with a collection of Indiana artisans?
You gather them together.
Yes,
And
yes.
they just become even more and more artistic as they feed off of each other.
Yeah.
Notice I use the word feed.
Well, Indiana artisans are not only just making art, but they're making food. And they're pretty good at it, specialized in different areas, and they do it all. And we're going to meet some of these great Indiana artisans who promote their work all year round.
Let's go to Jill Dittmeyer.
If you're looking for something to wear, eat, use, or decorate that's truly authentic Indiana, you might want to look up an Indiana artisan. And Roz Demery, you are in charge of this group of talented artisans.
Yeah, we have 199 in 54 counties.
Why did you decide to start the Indiana Artisan Program?
Lieutenant Governor Becky Skillman started it back in 2008, and it was an economic development initiative. We have all these artists scattered in small towns and no way to develop markets for them, so they created Indiana Artisan. The marketplace was the second thing we did, and that is because we can bring all these artists to Indianapolis and draw crowds, and they get to meet people from all over the state.
But to be an Indiana artisan, you have to go through a process.
It's a very selective process. It's a jurying process. There are some artisans who you look at their work and think, oh, that was easy for them to get in, and it's taken them 5 times. It's very selective. It really has to be exceptional and among the best in the state, food or art.
How does someone become an Indiana artisan?
It's an application process. We jury once a year. The application is live now at indianaartisan.org on the join button. They fill out the application, and then they submit things to the jury, and then they wait on tender hooves to find out if they get it.
And how many times can you attempt to be an Indiana artisan?
As many as you want. And if you don't get in, the judges give you comments so you can learn about what you could do differently.
And Stephen Skinner, you have been part of Indiana Artisan since it started.
About 10 years.
And look at your beautiful pottery. What is it that you create?
This is ceramic pottery, it's stoneware. It's high fired, reduction fired in a kiln. And this is a platter with a kind of a nice glaze, I think.
How has it helped being part of Indiana Artisan over those course of those years? Have you noticed more people come to you because you are an Indiana artisan?
I have noticed that. For me personally, it was mostly about learning how to show my work. Pottery 10 years ago was a new gig for me. So I didn't know how to show it. I had never done craft shows before. And to have stepped in or be juried into Indiana Artisan was a great way to learn how to do these kind of shows. They're very supportive of their artisans.
And once you come here to Indianapolis, people see you, do they follow you back to your own studios?
They do. We have our studio. We have a little store in downtown New Carlisle. And we advertise while we're here. You can come up to see us in New Carlisle. You can come to the studio to see how things are made. And we get visits from all over the state.
And for Carrie, this is your very first Indiana Artisan Marketplace.
It is.
You just became an Indiana artisan.
I did. Just last October, I juried in.
And that's because you create these beautiful scarves. How do you make these?
The silk, all of the silk starts white. All of the lines that you see are illustration lines that are a resist that keep the dye from moving beyond the line. So I'm creating on the fly, usually using scarves as sketch paper. And I silk paint anything I can. So there are pillows and wall hangings, and I can do pillow shams, boudoir settings, curtains, fabric, dresses, anything.
She can make it.
Don't put silk in front of me, I'll paint it.
And how do you think it's going to help your business to be an Indiana artisan now, to have that label, to have that notoriety that not everybody can have?
Well, I think it's an instant legitimizer just right out of the gate. And it's especially important for me because I just started a year ago trying to make my hobby a business. And so I've been working through social media and a website that I put together by myself. And this is a way for me to be out in the community because what I really want to do is be working with decorators and doing some collaboration to put whole rooms together. And there's really no better way, I think, than to have an official juried stamp on your work that says, no, you can trust her, she knows what she's doing.
And you have a special symbol that lets us know that this is an Indiana artisan product.
We do. It's a flame, the Indiana flame from the torch in the state, and it's on a blue background with Indiana Artisan proudly written on it.
Indiana artisan, you can't go wrong with that.
You absolutely can't.
For Lifestyle Indy, I'm Jill Dittmeyer.
Well, you know the old expression, glass half full, you know, but what's
Half empty.
positive
Prefer half
attitude.
full.
Accentuate the positive.
Yeah.
Eliminate the negative. That's what I was trying to think of, that old song.
You're talking about cocktails and chemo. Right?
Yeah, you know, trying to make the best out of a bad situation.
Right. Amanda Clark has done just that. Wait till you meet her. She is the founder of Cocktails and Chemo.
Happy birthday, dear Joe. Happy birthday to you.
Cocktails and Chemo started as a blog. My husband was 28 years old when he got diagnosed with colon cancer, and we didn't know anybody our age that had cancer. We couldn't find anyone to relate to. So we started writing as a way to deal with what we were going through, and we called it Cocktails and Chemo because our martini dates kind of turned into chemotherapy dates. And he would write from the perspective of the patient, and I would write from the perspective of the caregiver. When my husband died from colon cancer in 2014, all of a sudden I'm sitting there, I'm a young mom, I'm a widow, and we've started this community, this following with Cocktails and Chemo, and I thought, well, what the heck do we do with this now? And so the Cocktails and Chemo Foundation was born. He said, before he died, he said, live loud, love deep, cry hard, and take more pictures. And that is everything that we do. We hope to love deep and live loud. We encourage people to cry hard. It's okay to feel the pain and to take more pictures and share the memories of your loved ones and cherish every moment. So Cocktails and Chemo, we do a few things. One of them is that we send care packages to caregivers that are nominated on our website. Cocktails and Chemo also offers financial grants to families that are struggling to pay for childcare. Childcare was a huge issue for us. My daughter was 3 months old. I was working, my husband is trying to be in chemotherapy, and we just needed a safe place for her to keep up with a normal routine. And so our tribe scholarships help people pay for childcare and babysitters and nannies to keep some string of normalcy when everything around you feels like total chaos. Cocktails and Chemo also has a monthly sip and support in our chapters in Indianapolis, Chicago, and Minneapolis. And in Indianapolis, we're really working to grow that community where we meet the last Thursday of every month, and it is a support group without the stigma. We call them sip and supports. So it's just basically drinking wine and refueling your soul. And because you're around people that get it, that have been caregivers, that know what this is about, you can feel safe. And that's really what it's all about, is feeling like you have a safe community. Our sip and supports, they have wine, they have chair massages, we do appetizers, every new person that comes, we leave them with a little gift, and we want them to feel welcomed into this community of people, to feel like they now belong.
But you have to deal with it and like go through it and admit that like I'm in pain and this is really hard. And this is not the life I asked for. This was not the plan. This was never the plan. Julie and I met in the mix of a very messy life.
Correct.
And your husband was very sick, and you found the blog.
Correct.
And
yes.
and what did you think? What did you think of my blog? Right? It's funny. What did you think?
No pressure. I started following the blog, and I thought somebody had taken the words out of my mouth much more eloquently. But you were saying all of the things that I was experiencing and thinking. And then later I realized my husband was also following along with Joe's journey. And so it was a good way for us to talk about a lot of different things that were happening in our lives. We felt like to us.
We've been talking about the Sip and Support, which is like our monthly community. And what do you like about these get-togethers? I know what I like the wine, but what do you like?
Yeah. I mean, the wine is a plus.
Yes.
I just like, it's a time to get away. You know, you can kind of stop worrying about everything else and, you know, have a girls' night, a caregiver night, if you will. You can share things that are bothering you, hear how people are dealing with it. You know, maybe they have advice or tips, but the food and wine is always a perk.
It's a perk.
It's great.
I love it. Good job.
Thanks.
Is that good? What else do we have to do? Good job. You see, you're good. You think you're not good. And you're pretty.
You're sweet. And I need wine.
I know, me too.
Is this segment going to be legal, Paul?
Yeah, yes. We ran it past our lawyers, so we're pretty sure.
That's
yeah.
good because it's about legal advice.
And it's all free, which is a great thing too. So let's get all lawyered up. You want to?
You can never have enough information about the law, especially when it applies to you. So check this segment out. Hopefully you'll learn something.
Well, I'm here with Christine Altman, attorney and elected official.
Yes, sir.
Talking about property taxes. What are the different types of property taxes people can be concerned with, time frames, things like that?
Okay. Primarily the property taxes fund that we pay if you're owner of your primary residence or if you have a business. You can have personal property tax, which would be machinery, that type of thing, but primarily what I'll talk about is real estate taxation.
Okay.
And what that money does is it's our primary funding source for local government. It covers with the local option income taxes, it's about 40% of what government lives on. So your primary services that you get with your emergency services, your fire departments, your police departments, that really rely on that.
Okay.
The legislature about 5-10 years ago went through and they capped property taxes based on value. And they put in place for your homestead, your principal residence, a 1% cap. And then if you have residential real estate, that's a 2% if you rent it out to others for their residence. And then all other property is capped at 3% of value.
So 1, 2, and 3 are the numbers.
1, 2, and 3. It's very simplistic. But at the 1%, if it's your residence, and I think most of your folks will be most interested in that, there are several deductions that are very valuable to homeowners.
Okay.
The primary deduction that's valuable and you don't want to miss out on, and you should go check your property records to make sure it's there, is the homestead deduction.
Yes, very nice.
It is. It dramatically reduces, so your cap is at 1%. You won't be taxed more than that, and it's based on the assessed value, fair market value. So you start at that, and then you reduce that down based on your deductions. The homestead starts out, it's, I'm going to refer to notes because there's lots of these deductions. It's the lesser of 60% of the value of your home or $45,000. So that takes off $45,000 just from the get-go once you file it appropriately.
Were there anything else that you can share with our viewers regarding their property tax? Because I think this is a very informative discussion.
Well, there's some other ones, some other deductions that I think people ought to investigate depending on their age and circumstances.
Okay.
If you're over 65 and you have property that's assessed value of less than $182,000 plus or minus, and your combined income doesn't exceed $25,000, you're entitled to a deduction, and that's $12,000, over $12,000.
Pretty significant.
Right. And there's also an over 65 circuit breaker where your taxes, if you qualify with your income, it's $30,000 for an individual filer, $40,000 on a joint return, and your property is less than $160,000 in assessed value. Your real estate property taxes cannot go up more than 2% a year. That can be significant.
Absolutely.
So that's a nice circuit breaker for, you know, those people on generally fixed incomes at that age. That's why it's there. We have blind and disabled that are income constrained. If you make less than $17,000 and you're blind or totally disabled, you get a tax break. Veterans get tax breaks.
Oh, yes.
And probably the best veterans tax break would be for the veteran that has a 10% or more disability based on active service in a conflict. So if you served in Vietnam and you're 10% or more disabled, there's a significant tax break for you on property taxes.
It's important for people to investigate that.
Correct.
Yes.
I mean, knowledge is really important, especially if you're on a fixed income or for anyone, because these are things that the legislature has granted and people should take advantage of them.
Well, very good. Christine, you've been a wealth of information for everyone.
Seeing it wasn't too boring.
No, not at all. I'm Kevin Kimbrough, LifeStyle Indy.
Another fun show, Paul.
Yeah,
Good
fun.
information.
Yeah, and information. So I feel a little smarter than when I walked in this room.
You were paying attention. That's good.
Yeah.
That's a good thing.
I think you're rubbing off on me too. So
Probably.
Yeah, I gained at least 20 IQ points this episode.
Wow.
You're probably not going to even be able to get my head in the frame.
You're a genius.
Yeah. We'll see you then, Smarty.
All right, see you next week.
For all things Lifestyle Indy, just visit our website. That's lifestyleindy.com. It connects this TV show with the radio show and the magazine. We've got useful information for people all over Central Indiana. And you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Pick up Lifestyle Indy magazine at most Kroger stores and libraries. Look for us all over Indy.
Listen to Lifestyle Indy Radio Saturday afternoons at 4:30 p.m. on Freedom 95. Lifestyle Indy Radio. Your life, your style.
LifeStyle Indy is made possible with support from Westport Homes, dedicated to building homes for every chapter of life, with plans and details that match customer specific needs and style. Additional funding is provided by Altman, Poindexter, and Wyatt attorneys, serving clients throughout Central Indiana with wills, trusts, and estates, with over 70 years of combined experience.